All right. Shalom, boys here. No, I haven't done a video in a while. I've been extremely busy. And I'm about to get more busy. It's going to be a busy month. But what I wanted to do was come on and just talk a little bit about contract law and carpentry. Now, we know in society today that pretty much any interaction that you have, whether it's a business or between people and people, person to person, it's some form of a contract that's being formed. Let's deal first with the creator of the universe. He's created laws, statutes, and commandments, and he said, hey, if you do all of these things, then this is what you're going to get. And that comprises of an offer. Yah's offered us something, salvation, and he's offered us something in terms of a lifestyle here that we have on this earth. He's offered us prosperity. He's offered us security. He's offered us health. But if we got to follow these conditions. So he's offered it. We've accepted it. And the consideration is our obedience and following the law, statutes, and commandments. Bring it down to man. The telephone company says that we're going to offer you a service, and you accept that offer by receiving their phone and using their service. And the consideration, see, offer, acceptance, consideration. The consideration is that I'm going to pay a fee, a monthly fee, to that company. You go into Walmart. I can go on and on. Offer, acceptance, consideration. All basis of all contracts have these three components. And if you don't have these three components, you don't have a contract. Now let's deal with the concept of doing carpentry work, because this is focused on carpenters, okay? You're going out and you're providing a service to a client. And these things are very testy. You have to be very careful when it comes to engaging with clients. And you want to make sure that you get things in writing. Just like Yah has put his Torah in writing for us to receive, so that it's clear what is expected of us. Just so it's the same example as that you as a carpenter, you and I as carpenters, as well as with any business where you're providing a service and you're going into a person's home and you're doing something, you're providing a service, and you want to make sure that you're absolutely clear on what you're doing, how long it's going to take for you to do it, and the consideration or the funds that you're going to receive in exchange for that service. So, what I personally do is I have a folder, and in that folder, I have a basic contract that I write up for my customers. Just to not just share everything, but you see it says Covenant Contracting Services. It has my logo. It has what I'm going to do. It has the terms and conditions. It has who I'm billing it to. It has an invoice number. It has a description of what I'm going to do. For this particular project that I just now finished, it was a complete gut and reinstall of the first floor bathroom, which includes the installation of a toilet, sink, and a tub. I will install all of the tile on the walls, floor, and tub area to client specifications. The custom bench and wall indentation will also be installed to client specifications. Now, people looked at, I got a call from a brother and it says, hey, you didn't do the side of the wall and you didn't put in lights. That wasn't in the contract. That was not in the contract. So I don't do what's not in the contract. And in the contract, I say, listen here, I'm going to charge XYZ so many thousands of dollars to do this. And then also in the terms and conditions, I say price quoted is for labor only. Client will provide all materials for installation, which includes blades, cutters, nails, screws, etc. for the complete installation. The estimated completion time is 10 days. I expect 50% payment up front and the balance due upon completion. And I tell them who the check is made out to. And the reason why I do that is so obvious, but common sense ain't so common today. But the reason why I do that is because I want to make sure absolutely clear that we're on the same page so that there's no misunderstandings whatsoever when it comes to me completing the project at hand. I want to make sure that at the end of the project, the client can walk through, that they can ensure that the toilet works, that there's no leaks, that the sink works, that there's no leaks, that the bathtub works, that everything is to their client specifications. And if they want me to do anything more, I can do it, but it's going to charge a fee. Now, I had to, on this particular project, I had to do thousands of dollars above what I originally done in this project due to the simple fact that when I started ripping out things, I found all sorts of rot. The pipes had to be replaced. It didn't say anything about replacing pipes in my contract, you see? See, this is why you want to put things in writing. Now, as a contractor, as a carpenter, hey, I may even do a day project where sweep out the chimney. I may not even write that up. Listen here, it's going to take me a couple hours. I'm going to sweep out this chimney and you're going to pay me and I'm going to go on about my way. I may not even give them a bill. They may give me cash. They give me a check or whatever. And in these situations, typically in the small town that I'm in, everybody banks locally. So I can go ahead and I can take that check and not even deposit it in my bank account, but I can go ahead and take it to their bank and cash it right there on the spot. Okay? And they give me cash. You see? So the reason why I say this is because if you don't put things in writing, right? And then you go ahead and you start a project. And then the client turns around and says, you know what? You said that you was going to do this, or you said that you was going to do that, or whatever. You see how that causes confusion? Because see now, what do you think that the client, I could say, they want as much work done for as little money as possible. You see? And so by putting things in writing, I can be absolutely clear about what I was going to do so that they can't pin any more work on me because, hey, it's human nature. It's human nature to want more for less. It's just human nature. And see, what a written contract does is that it prevents people from taking advantage of you in situations like this because what was rated, what was stated, and what was agreed upon. You see? And because, see, when you have that, then you're not in a situation where somebody's playing the yoki-do. I'm going to explain to you another scenario because this actually happened to me. Have you ever had the feeling that you entered into a contract with somebody and then you could have gotten more? You sold something to somebody and then you found out that it was worth more, or you could have gotten more for the product or service that you offered? I'll give you a perfect example. This particular bathroom remodel I did. After I agreed to the terms and conditions and everything, I always ask the client to see where my pricing is. Do you know where the pricing where they got other estimates upwards of $10,000? $10,000. I didn't even charge $10,000. And, just from the perspective, I got to start protecting myself from a legal perspective. So the idea is that I didn't charge $10,000. Okay? But I felt as though I could have charged more than what I initially charged. You see what I'm saying? But believe you me, I got paid. It was good money. But I could have got paid more money. And so the idea is as well, that spirit came up on me and I could have turned around and did shoddy work. I could have turned around because, see, this is human nature as well. People get mad because they wanted more for a product that they or service that they clearly agreed to the terms and conditions. You see what I'm saying? They clearly agreed to it. And now they want to go back and change the terms and conditions because they feel as though they should have gotten more. When, guess what? When I was sitting down with the guy, right? I was sitting down with the guy and we agreed to XYZ to do this service. Now I ended up getting, this was probably my most expensive project that I've ever done in my business. But I ended up getting more money anyway because I had to do additional work. And then at that point in time, I charged them the full price for that plumbing work. All them pipes that I broke out and everything, I charged them the full price. What a carpenter or what a plumber would have charged. Because he was now in a situation where if he had to call in somebody else, I would have had to stop doing what I'm doing, right? I would have to stop doing what I'm doing, and he would have had to hire somebody else that would have charged him an arm and a leg. So I charged him a reasonable price for doing all that plumbing work. But the key that I'm trying to make here is that when you enter into a contract, you got to honor that contract. Because, see, I live in a town where everybody knows everybody. It's not one of them towns where I can drive around and nobody's not going to get wind. See, it's either I'm a good carpenter and people are going to hire me, I'm a good contractor that I do what I say that I'm going to do, or people ain't going to mess with you at all. See, word gets around. It's not like one of these major cities where you can go in and you can scam people, right? And then take their money and run away with it and all that. It's not that kind of environment. It's not that kind of environment. I got to make sure that I'm a man of honor and integrity and that the work that I'm doing is of top-notch quality so that they can recommend me to other people. Because, see, this was referral business. A lot of business that I get now, it's not from a lead or anything. It's just referral, word-of-mouth business. That's the level in which I'm at, where I've hit escape velocity in my business where, I'm not advertising anything outside of a yard sign. People are just giving me a call now. Hey, I heard you did such and such's bathroom. I heard you did such and such fencing. Can you do this? Can you do that? I just now got a phone call from a client that I serviced 2 years ago. They want me to come and do some more work. And it's at the point in time where it's not even worth my while to get out of bed anywhere for nothing less than $500. You see what I'm saying? A day. So the idea is that you have to be a man of honor and integrity if you're going to do any kind of business. And you're going to also want to get it in writing. Get it in writing. Because, see, when you have it in writing and you have the file, and then when it all comes down to it, because, see, if somebody goes before a judge to adjudicate a matter, and they say, well, what was the agreement? What was the agreement? Did you do what you say that you was going to do? Were you appropriately licensed, sir, to do X, Y, Z, 1, 2, 3? You got to make sure that you have all your ducks in a row. You see? Because, see, out in the country, it's different from the high regulations of the city. I couldn't do my business. I could do my business under the radar, but I couldn't do my business to the level I do my business in the city, because the minute that somebody, some cop or somebody or some code enforcement saw my trailer or my truck or whatever, they running it and they trying to find out what kind of licenses I got and all sorts of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So that's not going to, I got a little cat in here, but that's not going to fly. That's just simply put, not going to fly. This is why I like being out in the country doing my business, because the regulations are a whole lot more lenient. To do business in the country, you really don't need a license. I mean, especially out in the county, because you way out in the county. I mean, you way out in the boondocks in the country. Nobody ain't coming out there, whatever. All things that I would recommend is that something like electrician or running new plumbing lines. There's certain things that I won't do. I will put in a light fixture, but I won't run a new electrical line because I'm not a certified electrician. If something burned down, somebody can still sue you. So the idea is that you got to understand contract law. You got to understand that the basis of any contract is offer, acceptance, consideration. If you don't have those three bases for a contract, you have no contract. You have no contract. You have no contract. Period. Point blank. Where's the consideration? Where's the offer? Where's the acceptance? This is basic business law. Business law 101. 100 level course that'll teach you this in college. I want to make sure that I have the offer. I've offered them a service. I've offered them a completion date. I've offered them a price. I've offered exactly the terms and conditions in which I'm going to do this project. They've accepted my offer. They've given me half of the consideration. I completed the project on time. And they gave me the balance of what they owe me. That is a complete form and contract. If you don't have these aspects of the contract, the who, the what, the when, the where, the why, the how, it's all there. Do I have a contract with somebody to do a product or a service and they haven't offered me money? Well, yeah, sure, I can put that in the contract that I'm going to give them this service for free. But at the end of the day, it still has to be stated. Never do projects going into people's homes without a written contract. I make sure I save all my receipts also. I keep copies of my receipts. You see? Copies. All of the receipts. I even have it where my receipts can be emailed to me. So I give a client a copy of the receipts of all of the blades, everything the plumbing, all of that stuff. They have copies of the receipts and I have copies of my receipts. And I have a file. So that just in case there's any misunderstanding, they have any questions, I have a file on my clients now. I have an invoice list. This is why it's a beautiful thing where I have an office where I can keep my stuff and I can keep all my things organized. I have another client that I have to do plumbing work for. Same thing. Contracts, offer, acceptance, consideration. That is the basis of every single contract. You follow it, you get it in writing, you have a clear understanding, you'll never have a problem. But hey, if you don't have it in writing, if you were not clear, you're going to have a problem. Trust me. Always get it in writing. Shalom.